And we welcome you to X Stadium for the 85th National Congress World Series, powered by Westar Energy. This is Frank Martinez. I'll be your play-by-play announcer as we're underway. Whitchurch just hits to the shortstop. Gonzalez goes to first for out number one. Hutchinson Monarchs will be the visiting team, and the Great Bend Batcats will be the home team. Now batting the third baseman, number 3, Cooper Elliott. We apologize about the late start, but had to shut down the computers, and now we're back up. So we are one out here in the top half of the first inning. That one almost hits Cooper Elliott. As the count goes to 1 ball, 1 strike. Just now join us, and if you have not catched the first game, ball hit to the second baseman. Cheatham goes to first for out number 2. So a 4-3 put out for the second out. It's going to bring up the shortstop, number 9, Dylan Nedved. Defensively for the Great Bend, at first base will be number 3, Pomeroy. Second baseman, number 17, Cheatham. At shortstop will be number 2, Gonzalez. Third baseman, number 15, Riley. Left fielder, number 6, Mitchell. Center fielder, number 11, Freeman. Right fielder, number 14, Monson. And catching will be number 10, Bloomer. And pitching for the Great Bend Batcats will be number 24, Jack Brimacombe. Now goes to 1 ball, no strikes now to Dylan Nedved, the shortstop for the Hutchinson Monarchs. That one fouled off to the right-hand side. As the count goes to 2 balls and 1 strike. So we're underway here in the top half of the first inning. The winner of this game will move on to championship week and will play on Friday. Either at 1 o'clock or at 3:30. Count evens up at 2 balls, 2 strikes. The ball hit to the shortstop. Gonzalez makes the catch for out number 3. Top half of the first inning, no runs on no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. At the end of 1/2 inning play, we have no score. You're listening to the NBC World Series live stream presented by Park City, Kansas. Visit Park City's website at parkcitykansas.com.
Hi, I'm Scott Stiles, General Manager of Wichita Burner, right here in beautiful downtown Wichita. I know how important it is to be on a winning team. My winning team of Jim Myers, Ashley Jansen, and Jeff Markowitz are here every day to provide you with the best customer service for your boiler and burner needs. On behalf of our team, we want to wish you and your team the best of luck at this year's 85th Annual NBC World Series. And welcome to Wichita!
And we welcome you back to X Stadium for the 85th National Congress World Series. Powered by Westar Energy. As we go to the bottom half of the first inning. And leading on for Great Bend will be the shortstop, number 2, Cade Gonzalez. Defensively for Hutchinson, at first base will be number 23, Steckline. Second baseman, number 5, Lowe. At shortstop will be number 9, Nedved. Third baseman, number 3, Elliott. Left fielder will be number 1, Craig. Center fielder, number 12, Whitchurch. Right fielder will be number 13, Scott. Catching will be number 20, Wolverton. And pitching for Hutchinson will be number 11, Noah Kelly. Kelly on the mound for the Monarchs. Once again, leading off for Great Bend will be shortstop, number 2, Cade Gonzalez. Great Bend came in with a 2-1 record here in the World Series. As they they beat the Hayes Larks 5-4, lost to Waco, Texas 7-5, and then they defeated the Wichita Sluggers 6-3. The Hutchinson Monarchs come in with a 3-0 record here in the World Series as they defeated the 316 Elite team from 7-4. Palm Springs Chill team 6-5, and then the Dodge City A's 7-1. That one fouled off, so the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes now to Cade Gonzalez. Gonzalez playing shortstop here this evening for the Great Bend Batcats. These two teams are out of the Sunflower League. Both of them are out of the West. Strikeout and a throw out at first base for out number 1. Now batting for the Batcats will be the right fielder, number 14, Ryan Munson. As I was saying, they were both out of the Sunflower League, out of the West. Hutchinson was in second place behind the Cheney Diamond Dogs, which the Diamond Dogs will be playing tomorrow evening. And Hutchinson finished the season at 25-13. And Great Bend Batcats ended up in third place as they ended up 22-15. Once again, the Cheney Diamond Dogs were 36-6 for the season. And they will be in here tomorrow as a feature game, as they will be facing the Seattle Washington Studs. That's going to be a big game here as a feature game. Count is 1 ball and 2 strikes now to Ryan Munson, as we have 1 down here in the bottom half of the first inning. Missing outside is Noah Kelly. Noah Kelly is from Las Vegas, Nevada. 6'1", 180-pounder. From Barstow Community College, where he's a freshman. Count is full now at 3-2 to Monson. That one hit into left field between third and shortstop. As the shortstop Nedved moves to his right, was not able to get to it. So Monson records his first hit of the game. He was 2 for 11 here in the World Series, batting 181. That's going to bring up the center fielder, number 11, Dante Freeman. As we have a runner at first base and 1 down here in the bottom half of the first inning. That one hit hard along the left side. It's going to be foul. So the count goes to no balls and 1 strike now to Dante Freeman. Freeman batting .231 here in the World Series. That one missing outside by Kelly. So that will even up the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. We're in the bottom half of the first inning with no score. There is a runner at first base with 1 down. And check swing there by Freeman. They're going to say he did go, so the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Beautiful evening here in Wichita, Kansas. Ball hit to the shortstop, Nedved goes to low, over to Steckline for the double play. You're listening to the NBC World Series live stream presented by Park City, Kansas. Visit Park City's website at parkcitykansas.com. We'll be right back.
What do you see? I see my daughter, a strong and independent woman, a skilled expert, living her life, and an inspiration to others. What do you see?
And we welcome you back as we go to the top half of the second inning. Leading off for the Hutchinson Monarchs will be the designated hitter, number 18, Taylor Barber. As we have no score. First pitch is called strike number one now to Taylor Barber. Barber is 1 for 7 here in the World Series as he's batting 142. And that hits Barber. So he will be going to first base as a hit batsman. And he'll bring up the catcher, number 20, Scott Wolverton. Jack Brimacombe pitching for Great Bend. Once again, Barber's on at first base as a hit batsman, and Wolverton squares around a bunt and fouls that one off. That will take the count to no balls and one strike. As we are in the top half of the second inning with no score, but there is a runner on first base. And there goes Barber to second base. A bunt laid down. It is fouled off, apparently. So Barber will be heading back to first base as the count goes to no balls and two strikes. So 0-2 now to Scott Wolverton. That missing high for ball one. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 86 degrees here in Wichita. The wind blowing out of the southeast at 12 miles an hour. Got up to 97 here in Wichita today, and is scheduled to be 97 and sunny tomorrow. Count is 2 balls, 2 strikes. Barber scooting towards second base, and Brimacombe steps off as he's ready with a 2-2 count here. Ball hit to the right side of the shortstop. Gonzalez not able to get to it. And moving, going to third base is Barber. Going to second base is Wolverton. And he's going to be safe at second base. With a double there by Wolverton. So now there's runners at second and third with no outs. That's going to bring up the right fielder, number 13, Ed Scott. First pitch to Scott is ball one. So here in the top half, second inning, the Hutchinson Monarchs are threatening to draw first blood. That one fouled off towards third base head coach Aaron McHugh. So the count goes to 1 strike now. Runners at second and third. Wolverton at second and Barber on at third base. And that one gets away, does hit Ed Scott. So he will be going to first base. That's the second hit batsman here in the second inning. Once again, the winner of this game will move on to the championship round that starts tomorrow, but will not play till Friday. And now head coach Roger Ward comes out to talk to Brimacombe, and there's going to be some action in the bullpen. And it looks like getting up to throw is a left-hander, number 16, for Great Bend. That's Easton Young. So we'll keep an eye on that to see whether he comes in or not. Give you a little bit more information about him if he does make an appearance. So now we have runners at first, second, and third with no outs here in the top half second inning. And Hutchinson threatening to score first here in the ball game. Coming up to bat, left fielder number 1, Connor Craig. First pitch is called strike one. Our umpires for today's game at home plate is Mark Wagers. At first base, Jake Botek. Second baseman is Doug McClure. That one hit to the first base side. And first baseman Pomeroy comes into Bloomer for the force out. So we have one down. Craig reaches on a fielder's choice. Bases are still loaded. And the play goes 3-2 for the first out. It's going to bring up the first baseman, number 23, Ryan Steckline. Now batting. First pitch is a strike. To Steckline. Once again, bases loaded with one down now here in the top half second inning. Second pitch missing outside for ball one. That will even up the count now at 1 strike. That one's going to be fouled off along the right-hand side. Will be foul. So that would take the count now to 1 strikes. Base is full with one out here in the top half of the second inning. No score yet here in the ball game. Wolverton is at third base as he reached with a double. Ed Scott at second base as he reached as a hit batsman. That one fouled off by Steckline. And then Connor Craig reached on a fielder's choice. That one hit to the shortstop. Maybe double play by the second baseman. drops the ball, so everybody will be safe. And a run scores from third base. That's Wolverton, so that's going to be an error on the second baseman. Wolverton scores from third base. Scott moves over to third. Craig moves to second. And Steckline is on at first base. There's a foul ball by Mason Lowe. We have one down still. That one missing outside for ball one. So the count goes to 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-0 is the score in favor of Hutchinson. That one fouled off to the right-hand side. Will be in the stands. So that will take the count now to 1 ball and 2 strikes. And a swing and a miss there by Mason Lowe. Goes down swinging for the second out. It's going to bring up the center fielder, number 12, Braden Whitchurch. Bases are full with 2 down. And the score 1-0. As the Hutchinson Monarchs have scored 1 run here in the top half of the second inning. That one in there for called strike 1. Ball hit to the shortstop. Gonzalez goes for the force out at second base for the third out. So top half of the second inning, the Hutchinson Monarchs score 1 run. At the end of 1.5, it is Monarchs 1 and the Batcats 0. You're listening to the NBC World Series live stream presented by Park City, Kansas. Visit Park City's website at parkcitykansas.com.
To you, I heard the laughing and good from the sea. Come to you, I'm someone like you. Na 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 na. I'm going to Wichita. I'm going to Wichita. I'm going to Wichita. And I'm going to Wichita.
Learn more at visitwichita.com.
And we welcome you back as we go to the bottom half of the second inning. The score 1-0 now in favor of Hutchinson. Leading off the bottom half of the second inning for Great Bend will be the first baseman, number 3, Dawson Pomeroy. Noah Kelly on the mound for Hutchinson. First pitch to Pomeroy is ball 1. The Batcats got a runner on in the first inning, but had a 6-4-3 double play as Monson recorded the first hit for the Great Bend. Swing and a miss there. Count is 1-1 now to Dawson Pomeroy. Ball hit hard along the first base side. It's going to be foul. So that would take the count now to 1 ball and 2 strikes. So the count 1 ball, 2 strikes now to Pomeroy as he leads off here in the bottom half of the second inning. Hard hit ball along the right-hand side. That also will be foul. And it goes into the Monarchs bullpen. If you've never been here to X Stadium here on the campus of Wichita State University, the infield and the outfield are all artificial turf. The only dirt area is the pitcher's mound. And it is well taken care of by the grounds crew here at Wichita State University. Count is 2 balls, 2 strikes. Missing outside is Kelly. So that will take the count now to 3-2. Our championship week starts tomorrow. Both these two teams are trying to get into that championship week. The winner, there's a ball hit to the right-hand side. And not going to be able to get to it was Steckline, as Kelly went over to cover, but it went off the glove of Steckline. We'll see how they call that. It is a base hit there by Pomeroy. And it'll bring up the left fielder, number 6, Brady Mitchell. Kelly misses inside for ball 1. Mitchell is 2 for 12 in the tournament, in the World Series, I should say. Batting 166, has 1 RBI. Fouled off there by Mitchell. That will take the count now to 1 ball and 1 strike. Once again, this 85th National Baseball Congress World Series is powered by Westar Energy. And the throw over to first base as Pomeroy is in safely. Kelly just letting Pomeroy that he has not forgotten about him. As we are in the bottom half of the second inning. Runner on at first base. There's a foul ball to the left-hand side. Goes off the tent area that we're using as a third base dugout. Once again, as I was saying, if you've never been here before, a beautiful stadium here is 330 down the lines, 375 in the gaps, and 390 to dead center field. But they got construction work going on as they're building a brand new third base dugout with locker rooms that are going to be connected to it. And that will connect to their practice facility. And that's going to hit Mitchell in the back. So he'll be going on to first base as a hit batsman. So now we'll have runners at first and second as Pomeroy reaches on a base hit. With no outs here in the bottom half of the second inning. The score 1-0 in favor of Hutchinson as they scored 1 run in the top half of the second inning. The bunt attempt is fouled by Chandler Bloomer, who's now batting. He's the catcher for the Great Bend Batcats. Bloomer is 1 for 10 here in the World Series with 1 RBI. Another bunt attempt there by Bloomer. So he misses that. So the count goes to no balls and 2 strikes. So 0-2 now for Kelly to Bloomer. And a swing and a miss there by Chandler Kelly. So he goes down swinging for out number 1. That's going to bring up the second baseman, number 17, Tyson Cheatham. Cheatham is playing second base for Great Bend. Here's Kelly's pitch. Swing and a miss there by Cheatham. As Cheatham is batting .555 as he is 5 for 9 here in the World Series. Having a very productive time here in the World Series. Ball lifted into left field. Left fielder Craig. It looks like he dropped the ball. I thought he was going to make the catch, and all of a sudden the ball just came out of his glove. So standing at third base will be Dawson Pomeroy, and Brady Mitchell will be at second base. And Cheatham reaches on an error to the left fielder. Connor Craig. So the bases are full now with one out, and that ball gets away from the catcher. There's going to be no play at home. A run scores as Pomeroy comes in sliding. The runners advance. Mitchell goes to third base, and Cheatham goes to second base. So a wild pitch there by Kelly, and that ties up the score now at 1 apiece. Ball hits the right-hand side. It goes off the pitcher's glove. Second baseman Lowe goes to first for the out, but another run scores as Brady Mitchell comes in from third base, and Tyson Cheatham moves over to the third. So a 1-4-3 put out for the second out, and they'll bring up the third baseman, number 15, Nolan Riley. So 2 runs have scored now here in the bottom half of the second inning. And that would have been the third out. On that last play, but we had an error on left fielder Craig. So there is now a runner at third base and 2 down. That one into the dirt, or in front of home plate, I should say. And the count is 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. Scored 2-1 in favor of Great Bend, as Hutchinson Monarchs scored 1 run in the top, and now the Great Bend Batcats have scored 2 runs in the bottom half of the second inning. That one fouled off by Nolan Riley. Not sure if I told you defensively for Hutchinson. That one fouled to the hit up in the air, I should say, to the first baseman. Steckline makes the catch for out number 3. So at the end of 2, it is the Batcats from Great Bend 2 and the Monarchs from Hutchinson 1. You're listening to the NBC World Series live stream presented by Park City, Kansas. Park City's website at parkcitykansas.com. We'll be right back.
No one should live a life burdened with type 1 diabetes. And the day is coming when nobody will, because we're here to cure it. And we're working to improve the lives of those affected by this relentless disease today by finding new therapies and advancing them to market, by advocating for greater access and better choices, by deepening our understanding of the disease. At JDRF, we're fighting T1D. We're making life better for those who live with it, while creating a world without it.
And we welcome you back to X Stadium for the 85th National Baseball Congress World Series, powered by West Star Energy, as we will be going to the top half of the third inning. And leading off will be the third baseman, number 3, Cooper Elliott. First pitch was ball one by Brimacombe. That one lifted into left field. Left fielder Mitchell backing up, making the catch for out number one. It's going to bring up the shortstop, number 9, Dylan Nedved. Nedved flew out to the shortstop in the first inning to make the third out. That ball hit to the shortstop. Gonzalez goes to first for out number 2. A 6-3 put out for the second out. It's going to bring up designated hitter number 18, Taylor Barber. So Gonzalez to Pomeroy for the put out. And now there is 2 down here in the top half of the third inning. 2-1 in favor of Great Bend over Hutchinson. That been hit in the corner. So the count goes no balls, 1 strike. Nobody on base with 2 down here in the top half of the third. We hope you enjoy the telecast. Don't forget to share. I'd like to try to get as many viewers so they can enjoy the NBC World Series. That ball hit into center field. Nice hit there by Barber as he records his first hit of the game. Right back up the middle as Jack Brimacombe just moved out of the way as that went by him. So Barber's on at first base with 2 down. It's going to bring up the catcher number 20, Scott Wolverton. Wolverton reached on a double and scored a run in the top half of the second inning. Got his no balls and 1 strike now to Wolverton, with Barber on at first base and 2 down. That one hitting the outside corner, so Brimacombe goes up, no balls to 2 strikes. Wolverton is 2 for 11 for the NBC World Series and 1 for 1 here tonight. Swing and a miss there by, or correction, that is fouled off by Wolverton. Well, I think that one fooled the point streak also, because that one looked like they had recorded that as a strikeout. Strike 2, I guess, and that one's a ball. So now the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. There goes the runner, Barber to second base. That one hit to the shortstop. Gonzalez goes across to Pomeroy for out number 3. So a 6-3 put out. At the end of 2.5, it is the Batcats 2 and the Monarchs 1. And you're listening to NBC World Series, live stream presented by Park City, Kansas. Visit Park City's website at parkcitykansas.com. We'll be right back.
Good evening, baseball fans. Welcome to X Stadium for the NBC World Series this evening. We're going to continue with lots and lots of sunshine, but as we head into tonight, there's a slim rain risk. I don't think it's going to be a big problem for us here on the east side of town. Temperatures, though, that's going to be the big thing, as temperatures are going to stay on the hot side. It's going to be humid this evening, not to mention the humidity levels are also expected to be high. 92 at about 8 o'clock. By 10 o'clock, temperatures are expected to be in the upper 80s. Have a great time here at the ballpark this evening, and stay safe for your drive home.
And we welcome you back for the 85th National Baseball Congress World Series, powered by Westar Energy, as we go to the bottom half of the third inning. And the Great Bend Batcats are up 2-1, leading off for the Batcats will be the shortstop, number 2, Cade Gonzalez. Gonzalez struck out his first time at the plate. That one missing outside for ball 1. Gonzalez is 2 for 9 in the World Series as he's batting .222. That one fouled off by Gonzalez, so that will even up the count now at 1-1. So I was mentioning to you that we will start championship week next week. We'll have pool play first. In Pool A, that one calls strike 2, so the count goes to 1 ball, 2 strikes. In Pool A, we'll have the Cheney, Kansas Diamond Dogs, San Diego, California Waves, the Seattle, Washington Studs, and the Texas Express. And here's the pitch by Kelly. Swing and a miss there by Cade Gonzalez as he strikes out for the second time in the ball game. That is the first out of the inning here in the bottom half of the third. It's going to bring up the right fielder, number 14, Ryan Munson. In Pool B, we'll have the first week qualifier. Which we already know that will be either the Derby Twins or the winner of this game between the Hutchinson Monarchs and the Great Bend Batcats. Then also Game Day Saints, the Hayesville, Kansas Aviators, and the Santa Barbara, California Forsters. That one hit to the shortstop, Nedved. Goes over to a stick line for out number 2. A 6-3 put out for the second out. And that's going to bring up the center fielder, number 11, Dante Freeman. And in Pool C, we'll have the Colorado Cyclones, the Fairbanks, Alaska Gold Panthers, the Kansas Cannons out of the Kansas Collegiate League Baseball. That one hit to the shortstop. A diving effort there by Nedved, but not able to get to it. So Dante Freeman will be on with a base hit, as he's now at first base with 2 down. That'll bring up the first baseman, number 3, Dawson Pomeroy. Pomeroy is 1 for 1 here in the ball game, and 5 out of 11, batting .454 with 4 RBIs here in the World Series. That one hit into a deep left field. That's going to be a ground rule double, as the left fielder, Connor Craig, went back and fell down and hit in the outfield and bounced over. Craig is down now. Not sure exactly what he hit out there, but he tripped over something and fell down. Looks like he might have pulled something because he's holding his leg area. As that is a ground rule double for Pomeroy. And now standing at third base is Dante Freeman, and Dawson Pomeroy standing at second base with 2 down. Once again, right now our concern is Connor Craig. Might have a cramp because trainer's out there. Stretching the leg area. And I don't think he's going to be able to continue. He's being helped off the field. So we're going to have a new left fielder. And I believe the new left fielder is going to be number 27 for Hutchinson. He's the one that seems to be warming up with urgency, which will be Keith Wolverton is warming up. So he will be going in the spot of Connor Craig. As Craig is still being helped off the field. Once again, Craig just went back, and all of a sudden, as he hit the warning track, he goes down like he had a cramp or something, and the ball hit in the warning track area and bounced over for a ground rule double. And once again, we hope that Connor Craig is okay. He just got the shoulder of either a trainer as he steps off. So Keith Wolverton will now be in left field. And now batting will be the left fielder, number 6, Brady Mitchell. Once again, Freeman is at third base, Pomeroy at second with 2 down. That one missing outside for ball 1. Defensively for Hutchinson, they have Stickline at first, Lowe at second, Nedved at short. Elliott is third base. Wolverton, Keith Wolverton in left field. Whitchurch is in center, and Scott in right. Scott Wolverton catching, and still pitching is number 11, Noah Kelly. So we have runners at second and third with 2 down. And that ball hit to the diving shortstop, Nedved, but then the ball pops out of his glove, and here comes another runner trying to score, and he does. That is Dawson Pomeroy, as he took off on the hit and never stopped. So Freeman scores from third. Pomeroy scores from second. And a great effort there by Nedved, as he made the stop, but as he went to go reach for the ball popped out of his glove. And on will be Brady Mitchell. An official scorer, Hall of Famer Michael Dean, will give us a ruling. Now batting will be the catcher, number 10, Chandler Bloomer. That is going to be a base hit there by Mitchell. A great stop there by Nedved, but just not able to make the play. It was going to be a close play there at first base if he did come up with it. We still have 2 down as 2 more runs have scored. Now the score 4-1 in favor of Great Bend. Great job there by Dawson Pomeroy as he took off on the hit to the shortstop and never stopped. Forced a throw to home plate, but was not in time as he scores from second base. Chandler Bloomer up there at the plate, and the count is 3 balls and no strikes. That one missing. Well, apparently one of them was a strike because the scoreboard is showing 3-0 before that pitch. So it is 3-1 now. That one fouled off by Bloomer. Bloomer struck out his last time at the plate as he made the first out of the inning in the second inning. 4-1 now in favor of Great Bend over Hutchinson. And there goes the runner, Mitchell. That is going to be ball 4 to Chandler Bloomer. As he'll be on with a walk and move it over to second base is Brady Mitchell. That'll bring up the second baseman, number 17, Tyson Cheatham. Cheatham is from Spring Hill, Kansas. 5'10", 180-pounder from Spring Hill High School, Wichita State University. So Cheatham, the batter, first pitch to him is ball one. As we have runners now at first and second with 2 down. Here in the bottom half of the third inning, 4-1 in favor of Great Bend. That ball gets away from the catcher, but nice job there by Scott Wolverton as he chases that down as it was heading towards first base right down the line. So the runners have to stay put. And the count is 2 balls and no strikes. That one missing outside, getting away from Wolverton this time. And the runners will advance as Mitchell moves over to third base. And Bloomer will move to second base. That is a wild pitch called. Charge to Noah Kelly. So now runners at second and third with 2 down. And the Great Bend Batcats have scored these 2 runs with 2 down. 3-1 now the count to Cheatham. His first base is empty, so I'm sure Noah Kelly won't give him anything good to hit. A swing and a miss there by Tyson Cheatham. So the count will go full now at 3-2. And now Wolverton goes out to talk to Noah Kelly. There's nobody warming up. Well, I take it back. Somebody is up now. Looks like it's number 14 there for Hutchinson. That's Garrett Stevens. I don't think that's correct because this is a left-handed thrower. So we'll have to see exactly who that is. Full count now, 3-2 to Tyson Cheatham with runners at second and third and 2 down. Score 4-1. That one fouled off by Cheatham. It squibbles along the first base side. So the count's still full now at 3-2. Still have a decent crowd here this evening. Not quite the crowd that we had for our feature game. That one fouled off to the left-hand side. Count still full at 3-2. Speaking of feature games, boy, we have a big one tomorrow. A feature game on Thursday on opening night of championship week. The Seattle Washington Studs will be playing the Cheney, Kansas Diamond Dogs. That ball hit to the shortstop, Nedved. Goes over to first to Steckline for out number 3. Not before Great Bend scores 2 runs. So at the end of 3 innings of play, it is Great Bend 4 and Hutchinson 1. You're listening to the NBC World Series live stream presented by Park City, Kansas. Visit Park City's website at parkcitykansas.com. We'll be right back.
What do you see? I'll tell you what I don't see. I don't see a dropout. I don't see laid off. I don't see hopeless. I see our future, bright and prosperous. What do you see?
And we welcome you back for the 85th National Baseball Congress World Series powered by Westar Energy as we go to the top half of the fourth inning. The score 4-1 in favor of Great Bend over Hutchinson. Leading off will be the right fielder, number 13, Ed Scott. This is Frank Martinez. I'm your play-by-play announcer for tonight's game. The first pitch is fouled off to the left side by Scott. So the count goes to no balls and 1 strike. Good ball game here this evening. Also had a good ball game earlier. That one hit to the second baseman. Cheatham goes to Pomeroy for out number 1. A 4-3 put out for the first out. Now batting will be the left fielder, number 27, Keith Wolverton, who came in to replace Connor Craig as he pulled something in his leg area. Not sure if it was a calf or a hamstring, but had to be helped off. He did walk off, but had to have the shoulder of a trainer to help him out. First pitch is ball 1 now to Wolverton. As we have 1 down here in the top half of the fourth inning for the Hutchinson Monarchs. They are down 4-1 at this time. That one missing for ball 2. As I was saying, we have our championship round starts tomorrow. Our first game tomorrow starts at 1 o'clock. As everybody goes for the 2019 National Baseball Congress World Series Championship. Our first game will be the San Diego, California Waves versus the Texas Express at 3:30. There's a walk to Wolverton. They'll be on at first base, and will bring up the first baseman, number 23, Ryan Steckline. Steckline reached on the fielder's choice his first time up the plate. Our 3:30 game tomorrow will be the Kansas Cannons versus the San Antonio, Texas Angels. Kansas Cannons had a great season in the Kansas Collegiate League baseball. So they'll be seeing their first action tomorrow at 3:30 versus the San Antonio, Texas Angels. Then our feature game. And if you don't have your tickets now, you better get them because it's going to be a doozy. As the Seattle Washington Studs will be playing the Cheney, Kansas Diamond Dogs. The Cheney, Kansas Diamond Dogs nationally ranked. And you know the Seattle Washington Studs always bring a good team here to the World Series. That one missing, or correction, a call strike 1. So the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. We have Wolverton on at first base as he reached on a walk. And there is 1 down here in the top half of the fourth inning. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Steckline. Oh, that one hits Steckline. So Steckline will be going to first base as a hit batsman. Moving over to second base is Keith Wolverton. And I'll bring up the second baseman, number 5, Mason Lowe. Lowe struck out in the second inning as he made the second out. So this is his second time up at the plate. First pitch is strike 1. No balls, 1 strike down to Mason Lowe. Runners at first and second with 1 down. Here in the top half of the fourth inning for the Hutchinson Monarchs. That one fouled off by Lowe. So the count goes to no balls and 2 strikes. Once again, that 7 o'clock game, the Studs versus the Diamond Dogs, and then our 9:30 game On Thursday, August the 1st, it will be the Colorado Cyclones versus the Fairbanks, Alaska Gold Panthers. That's correct. We have an Alaska team coming down for the World Series. So the Colorado Cyclones versus the Fairbanks, Alaska Gold Panthers. So that's our action for tomorrow. That one missing for ball 2, so the count will even up now at 2 balls and 2 strikes. The batter is Mason Lowe, the second baseman for the Hutchinson Monarchs. Steckline at first, Wolverton at second with 1 out. 4-1 is the score, and that one way behind Mason Lowe, and a great job there by Bloomer as he had to reach behind Lowe to catch that. Otherwise, the base runners would advance 1 base. So 1 down here. There's a ball that's going to be fouled off by Lowe. And somebody gets a souvenir. Looks like it's going to be a young kid. And he's excited as he gets an 85th National Baseball Congress World Series baseball. That one also fouled off by Lowe. Still 1 down here in the top half of the 4th inning. That calls strike 3 as he hits the outside corner. And Lowe goes down looking for the second out. It's going to bring up the center fielder, number 12, Braden Whitchurch. Whitchurch grounded out to the shortstop in the first inning to make the first out of the ball game. Then he reached on a fielder's choice in the second. There was a force out at second base for the third out. Jack Brimacombe in his 4th inning of work. That one is fouled off by Whitchurch. So the count goes to no balls and 1 strike. We hope you're enjoying the telecast. I'd like to thank Chris Worrell, our technician, back behind our cameraman, doing a great job. Don't forget to share so we get more viewers to watch the NBC World Series. No balls and 2 strikes now to Whitchurch. Right-handed batter for Hutchinson. That one hit to the right-hand side, second baseman. Cheatham goes to his left, and then he throws the ball away as he throws it wide of first base. So a run will score now for Hutchinson as Keith Wolverton will score. And then Steckline moves over to third base. And at first base will be Braden Whitchurch. Whitchurch ran right over the Pomeroy, not intentionally, but as he was running down the base, Pomeroy just had to move to his right to try to get that, and he was right down the baseline. So that will be an error, I believe. They haven't put it down on point streak yet, but now batting is Cooper Elliott for the Hutchinson Monarchs. That one is fouled off, so the count goes to no balls and 2 strikes. Well, it says Whitchurch got a single to second base. So it is a single. And now there is runners at second and third. As Whitchurch is at second. Oh, that one gets away from the catcher, and here comes a run to score. That is Ryan Stickline. And Whitchurch goes to third base on the wild pitch. There's nothing the catcher could do as he tried to reach over to his right to make that stop, but was not able to. So another run scores. Now that takes the score to 4-3 on a wild pitch by Brimacombe. That one hit deep left field. That one is going to be foul. It was out of the ballpark, but it was foul by Cooper Elliott. A lot of power there because he's a left-handed batter and was able to hit it out of the ballpark, but just foul. So he'll come back with a 2-2 count with a runner at third base and 2 down here in the top half of the fourth inning. 4-3 in favor of Great Bend. But the Hutchinson Monarchs have scored 2 runs here in the top half of the fourth inning. And have the tying run now at third base. That one missing for ball 4, so Cooper Elliott will be on with a walk. And here comes coach, I should say, Roger Ward. And looks like we are going to have another pitching change. Take a look and see. There's 2 of them out there. It's going to be a left-handed thrower. Try to catch number here. So that will be it for Brimacombe. Still haven't got a number for Great Bend. It's number 16, it looks like. So coming in to pitch for Great Bend will be number 16, Easton Young. And we'll get the numbers for Brimacombe as he's done for the evening. His final numbers are he went 3 2/3 innings, gave up 3 hits, 4 runs, 2 earned runs, 2 base on balls, and 2 strikeouts as he faced 20 batters. So Easton Young will now be batting. From Omaha, Nebraska, left-handed thrower, a 6-foot, 170-pounder from Barton Community College, is now the pitcher for the Great Bend Batcats. The score is 4-3 in favor of Great Bend. But there is a runner at third base. The tying run at third base is Whitchurch. And just reaching with a walk is Cooper Elliott. That's going to bring up the shortstop, number 9, Dylan Nedved. And there goes Cooper Elliott on a still. In there safely. So now the tying run and the go-ahead run are both in scoring position. Nevitt is 4 for 12, batting .333 with 1 home run and 4 RBIs, and he's 0 for 2 here in the ball game. Well, that can't be because, oh yes he is, I'm sorry, he flew out to to the shortstop and then grounded out to the shortstop on a 6-3 play. That one hits in front, and the catcher Bloomer was able to make it stop in front of home plate. So the count is 2 balls, 1 strike. So Easton Young comes in to try to shut down the Hutchinson Monarchs. That one missing outside for ball 3. So 3 balls, 1 strike. Runners at second and third with 2 down here in the top half of the 4th inning, as the Hutchinson Monarchs are trying to tie up the ball game here in the 4th. That one missing for ball 4 high. So 2 straight walks now given up. So that's going to bring up the designated hitter, number 18, Taylor Barber. Will be now batting for the Hutchinson Monarchs. And the horn sounded, but umpire waved it off, saying that the batter called timeout. So bases loaded now with 2 down here in the top half of the 4th. First pitch is ball 1 now to Taylor Barber. Barber is 1 for 1 here in the ball game and 1 for 7 in the World Series. That ball lifted into short left field. Left fielder coming on strong, not able to get to it is Mitchell, so 2 runs will score. Here comes the third one around third base, and he's in safely. And Taylor Barber is on at second base, as 3 more runs have scored for the Hutchinson Monarchs. So 5 runs have been scored here in the top half of the 4th inning. We have a double and 3 RBIs by Taylor Barber. Great job of hitting there. I thought the left fielder might be able to get to that, as that was in left center field. Mitchell, but was not able to get to it. So Barber's in with a double. And once again, 3 RBIs. So the score now 6-4 in favor of Hutchinson here in the top half of the 4th inning. And they're not done yet. They do have another runner in scoring position. Batting now is the catcher, number 20, Scott Wolverton. Count goes to 1 ball, 1 strike, and 1 strike now to Wolverton. As Wolverton hit a double in the 2nd inning and scored, and then grounded out to the shortstop as he made the 3rd out in the 3rd inning. There's a ball lifted foul, so the count will be 1 ball, 2 strikes. 2 down still. As the Hutchinson Monarchs have scored with 2 outs. They've scored 3 runs. And here's the pitch. That one hit to the right-hand side. Cheatham goes to his right, not able to get to it. Another run may be scored here as he comes around, and he's in safely at home. So it's going to be an error on the second baseman. And another run scores. So now takes the score to 7-4 in favor of Hutchinson. And that'll bring up right fielder number 13, Ed Scott. So 7-4 as Hutchinson has scored 6 runs now here in the top half of the 4th inning. Scott is 0 for 1 here in the ball game. as he made the first out of this inning on a 4-3 putout. So he is the 10th batter up at the plate. That one popped up in the infield. Second baseman Cheatham, and Gonzalez is going to make the play. Shortstop for out number 3. But not before the Hutchinson Monarchs scored 6 runs, and now the score 7-4 in favor of Hutchinson. You're listening to the NBC World Series live stream presented by Park City, Kansas. Visit Park City's website at parkcitykansas.com. We'll be right back. And we welcome back to the 85th National Congress Baseball World Series, powered by Westar Energy, as we go to the bottom half of the 4th inning. For Great Bend, leading off will be designated hitter number 34, Chase Gibson. Count is 1 ball, no strikes now to Gibson. As Noah Kelly starts his 4th inning of work. Missing outside for ball 2. Missing for ball 3 now. 3-0 now the count to Chase Gibson, the designated hitter for Great Bend. Gibson's 0 for 1 here in the ball game at 2 for 8 as he's batting .250. Has 4 RBIs for the World Series. And here's Noah Kelly's pitch. That one missing for ball 4. So Chase Gibson will be on at first base now. On a base on balls. And I'll bring up the third baseman, number 15, Nolan Riley. Nolan Riley is 0 for 1 here in the ball game as he flew out to the first baseman to make the third out in the 2nd inning. So we have a runner on at first base with no outs. We'll see if Riley tries to bunt him over or not. Takes a look at strike 1. Once again, the score 7-4 now in favor of Hutchinson, as they were down 4-1 going into the top half of the 4th and scored 6 runs. This one missing way outside, and a great job there by Wolverton to stop that from going clear back to the fence area. 1-1 now the count. That one missing inside, so the count will now move to 2 balls and 1 strike. Gibson reached on a base on balls, standing at first base. And we have no outs. Outside for ball 3. So 3-1 now the count. As all of a sudden Noah Kelly is having a hard time finding the strike zone. We do have 2 guys warming up out in the bullpen. Another walk given up. So we'll have runners at first and second now. And I kept saying Noah Kelly, but I forgot that they had a new pitcher that's just came in here in the ball game. That is Philbin. Zach Philbin from Omaha, Nebraska, a 6'3", 216-pounder from Hutchinson Community College. Now pitching for Hutchinson. My apologies. I'll give you the final numbers on Kelly. Kelly went 3 innings, gave up 5 hits, 4 runs, 2 earned runs, 1 base on balls, and 3 strikeouts as he faced 16 batters. Once again, runners at first and second and no outs. 2-0 the count. Philbin having a hard time trying to find the strike zone as he's 3-0 now. And he's walked the first 2 batters that he's faced. That one, ball 4. So that is the third walk of the ball game as Cade Gonzalez moves over to first base. Gibson will move over to third and Riley to second base. That's going to bring up the right fielder, number 14, Ryan Monson. Trying to get a number about who's warming up out there for Hutchinson. We've been missing high for ball 1. Philbin has thrown 14 pitches, 2 strikes, and 12 balls. That went in for a strike, so that will even up the count now at 1 ball and 1 strike. Bases are loaded with no outs here in the bottom half of the 4th inning. 7-4 is the score in favor of Hutchinson, but Great Bend is threatening. The ball hit to the first baseman. First baseman not going to. Oh, it does make a play. Wow. Steckline tried to throw that home to Wolverton. Threw it along the third base side. And a great job there by Wolverton as he tagged Gibson coming in home for out number 1. I thought that was going to be way left of Wolverton, that not going to be able to get to it. But Wolverton made a great job of making that catch and making the tag at the same time. So the play goes 3-2 for out number 1. And fielder's choice there for Monson as Gonzalez moves to second and Riley moves to third base. And he'll bring up the center fielder, number 11, Dante Freeman. Missing outside for ball 2. It's once again Philbin falls behind. So 2-0 the count to Dante Freeman. And that one gets away from the catcher. Another run is going to score. Standing up is Riley. So 7-5 now is the score in favor of Hutchinson. And runners advance, so Gonzalez will be at third base. Monson will be at second on a pass ball. And here's the pitch. Missing for ball 4. And that is the 4th walk given up by Philpin, as Freeman will now be on at first base. And it'll bring up the first baseman, number 3, Dawson Pomeroy. 1 out, bases loaded. The score 7-5 in favor of Hutchinson. That one missing for ball 1. And I believe it's Dawson Linder that's warming up out in the bullpen for Hutchinson. That one hit hard into left field. That's going to fall in for base hit. 1 run will score as Gonzalez comes in. And here comes Monson from second base as he rounded third. So 3 runs have been scored here in the bottom half of the 4th inning. And Freeman will stop at second base. Pomeroy in with a base hit as he records his 3rd hit of the ball game and 2 RBIs. Bring up the left fielder, number 6, Brady Mitchell. So the score now tied up at 7 apiece. Here in the bottom half of the 4th inning. And we still have 1 down here in the bottom half of the 4th inning. Freeman at second and Pomeroy at first. 2-0 now to Brady Mitchell. Ball 3 to Mitchell. And Philbin just can't find the strike zone here tonight as he is. That's his 25th pitch. He has 5 strikes and 20 balls. That one calls strike 1. So the count now is 3 balls and 1 strike to Brady Mitchell. So there is somebody warming up out in the Hutchinson Monarchs bullpen. And here's Philbin's pitch missing for ball 4. And that's going to be it, I'm sure, as head coach Ron McHugh comes out. Darren McHugh, correction, comes out. And coming in is a new pitcher. Going to be a right-handed thrower. And I believe it's number 28. Couldn't see his number. The angle that I have out there in the bullpen, there's a big pole out there that holds the netting area. So I wasn't able to get a number. So I will give it to you here as soon as I. Yes, it is number 28. So coming in for Hutchinson, number 28, Dawson Linder from Lincoln, Nebraska, 6'5", 195-pounder from Hutchinson Community College, where he's a freshman. Once again, 3 runs have been scored here in the bottom half of the 4th inning. Score tied up now at 7 apiece. Just now joining us, we have a new pitcher. Number 28, Dawson Linder for the Hutchinson Monarchs. And now batting for Great Bend will be the catcher number 10, Chandler Bloomer. We have Mitchell at first base, Pomeroy at second, and Freeman at third base, as we have 1 down here in the bottom half of the 4th inning. Score tied up at 7 apiece. The first pitch from Linder is ball 1. The numbers on Philbin: he went 1/3 of an inning, gave up 1 hit, 3 runs, 3 earned runs, 5 base on balls, no strikeouts as he faced 7 batters. Here's the pitch, ball hit to the second baseman. Low goes, and that gets away from the first baseman, so 2 runs will score. Freeman from third and Pomeroy from second comes around as Brady Mitchell ends up at third base, and Bloomer will be on at first base. And we'll see what the official score calls that, but I'm thinking that's going to be an error. Yes, it is. Error on the second baseman. So an E4 as 2 more runs have scored. It's scored 9-7 now in favor of Great Bend. As the Great Bend Batcats have scored. Five runs here in the bottom half of the 4th inning, after Hutchinson scored 6 runs in the top half of the 4th. So far the numbers read: for Hutchinson, 7 runs on 4 hits, 2 errors, and for Great Bend, 9 runs on 6 hits and 3 errors. So not a very clean game here tonight. I've seen both of these teams play all year long, and this is not what they're capable of doing here, but just not having a good outing here tonight. Count is 2 balls and 1 strike now. That missing outside for ball 3. So 3 balls and 1 strike to Tyson Cheatham, the second baseman, as he is the 9th batter here in this 4th inning. Runners at first and third with 1 down. Swing and a miss there by Cheatham. So that will take the count to full at 3-2. Bloomer may be taken off on this pitch here. We'll see how coach plays it. Does not. It is ball 4, so Cheatham will now be on at first base. Bloomer, who reached on an error, is now at second, and Mitchell, who reached on a base on balls, is now at third. It's going to bring up the 10th batter. Will be the designated hitter number 34, Chase Gibson. That one apparently got away from the catcher as it hit in front of home plate and went down first base side. So Mitchell will score from third base. Moving over to third base is Bloomer. And over to second base is Cheatham. So another run has scored. That is the sixth run here in the bottom half of the fourth inning. 10-7 now the score in favor of Great Bend. Two balls, one strike now to Chase Gibson. This is second time up at the plate here in this inning. 3-1 now the count. To Chase Gibson. And that one is ball four, so Gibson will be on at first base with another walk. That is the eighth walk of the inning. Going to bring up the third baseman, number 15, Nolan Riley. Base is full now with one down here in the bottom half of the fourth inning. And that missing high for ball one to Nolan Riley, who reached on a base on balls here in this fourth inning and scored a run. And then flew out to the third baseman to make the third out in the second inning. That one also getting away from the catcher, a wild pitch. And another run scores as Bloomer scores from third base. Both runners will advance as Cheatham now is at third base and Gibson is at second. So 7 runs have been scored here in the bottom half of the fourth inning for the Great Bend Batcats. The score now 11-7. 18 runs on 10 hits and 5 errors combined between both teams. That one missing outside for ball 4 to Nolan Riley. So he will be on with a base on balls. It's going to bring up the shortstop, number 2, Cade Gonzalez. So the bases are full with one down still. As the 12th batter comes up here in the fourth inning for Great Bend. That one missing high for ball 1, so the count will go now to 1 ball, 1 strike. We do have somebody back up now for Hutchinson. Once again, the winner of this game will move on to the championship week that starts tomorrow, but it won't play till Friday. One ball, 2 strikes to Cade Gonzalez, shortstop for Great Bend. That one missing way outside for ball 2. That will even up the count now at 2 balls and 2 strikes. And And ball 3, so it goes full now to Gonzalez. As we have Cheatham at third base, Gibson at second, and Riley at first. All reaching on base on balls. And here's the pitch to Gonzalez. One down. Swing and a miss there by Cade Gonzalez as he goes down for the second out of the inning. It's going to bring up the right fielder, number 14, Ryan Monson. Once again, the score 11-7 here in the fourth inning. With 2 down, bases are still full for the Great Bend Batcats. That one did hit the Monson, so another run will score as Cheatham comes in from third base. Gibson moves to third. Riley goes to second. And a hit batsman. Monson goes to first. It's going to bring up the center fielder, number 11, Dante Freeman. The score now 12-7 in favor of Great Bend. As the Great Bend has scored 8 runs here in the bottom half of the fourth inning. They were down 7-4 as they came to the bottom half of the fourth. 2-0 the count to Dante Freeman. That one way outside for ball 3. So Linder also having problems trying to find the strike zone. As he has thrown 7 strikes and 20 balls. That one missing. Oh no, he called strike by home plate umpire. So the count will go to 3-1. 3 balls, 1 strike. Runners at first, second, and third with 2 down now. Here in the bottom half of the fourth. A swing and a miss there by Freeman. So that will take the count to full now at 3-2. The runners will be taken off on this pitch as it is a full count with 2 down. That one, ball 4. So another run scores as Gibson comes in from third. Riley moves to third base. Monson moves to second. And Freeman is on with a base on balls. 13-7 now in favor of Great Bend. And now batting the first baseman, number 3, Dawson Pomeroy. This is the 15th batter in this inning for Great Bend. And over half of those have been walks or hit batsmen. Here's the pitch. That missing high for ball 2. So 2-0 the count. So 2 balls, no strikes to Dawson Pomeroy. Here's the pitch, missing inside for ball 3. Almost hit Pomeroy. And with the bases full, he needs to throw a strike here. That one almost hit Pomeroy. That is ball 4. So coming in to score is Riley. Monson moves to third base. Freeman goes to second, and Pomeroy is on at first base. And now we're going to have a pitching change. We got a left-handed pitcher coming in. And we're going to take a small break, and we'll be right back. All right, we're back. And let me see if I can get a number on who's pitching now for the Hutchinson Monarchs. I think it's number 29, I believe. Have not posted it yet, so I'll wait, but I believe Brady Mitchell is up again here in this inning in the fourth for the second time. The ball hit to the right-hand side. Going to be fair ball, so 2 runs will score as Monson comes in to score. So does Freeman. And coming in to score also is Pomeroy. So Brady Mitchell in with a double as he hits that ball down the line. And 3 RBIs. And that will bring up the catcher number 10, Chandler Bloomer. So let me get my calculator out here so I can tell you exactly how many runs have scored this inning. I have run out of toes. "13 runs have been scored here in this inning. And the score now 17-7 here in the bottom half of the fourth inning. That one fouled off to Bloomer. I apologize about not getting a number on this new pitcher, but he just hasn't turned his back towards me as the Hutchinson Monarchs only have the numbers on the back side. Count is 1 ball, 2 strikes to Bloomer. That one hit into center field for a base hit. So base hit there by Bloomer. Another run will score as Mitchell comes in to score from second base. And that is the 14th run scored here in the bottom half of the fourth inning. It's going to bring up second baseman number 17, Tyson Cheatham. So Bloomer's on at first base with 2 down. It looks like number 29 is the new pitcher for the Monarchs. Dreyer, and there's a base hit into left field by Cheatham. Going over to third base is Bloomer, and ending up at second base is Cheatham. And now batting for the third time in this bottom half of the fourth inning will be the designated hitter, number 34, Chase Gibson. And has reached twice here in the fourth inning on base on balls. I'm not sure if this is a record for the NBC, but I would be not surprised if it isn't. We'll ask Michael Dean, who is very well knowledgeable on this, whether This is the most runs ever scored in an inning. As 14 runs have come across here in the bottom half of the fourth inning. Another ball hit to the third baseman, goes to first, and that had to be scooped up by Steckline for the third out. So a 5-3 put out. 14 runs scored. And the score is 18-7 at the end of 4. And you're listening to the NBC World Series live stream presented by Park City, Kansas. Visit Park City's website at parkcitykansas.com. We'll be back. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back as we go to the top half of the, let me get my scorecard here, fifth inning. I went to go ask Michael Dean, the official scorer, whether this was a record or not. I had 14 runs, I think 19 batters that inning, and he said he didn't think that was a record. He thought that there was one other time when it was more than that, but I've been doing this for 25 years, and this is the first time I have ever seen it. So we'll dig into that, see what we can find. Batting in the top half of the fifth is 27, Keith Wolverton. Count is 3 balls and 1 strike now to Wolverton. And Easton Young pitching now for Great Bend as he came in last inning. Swing and a miss there by Wolverton. So that will take the count to full at 3-2. That one missing for ball 4. So Wolverton will be on with a base on balls here in the top half of the fifth inning. It's going to bring up the first baseman, number 23, Ryan Steckline. That one fouled off for strike 1. I want to thank Eric Riggs, who says, good job, Frank. From Eric Riggs, we appreciate it. Once again, pitching for Great Bend is Easton Young at this time. Rhonda W. Count is 2 balls, 1 strike now to Ryan Steckline. That ball hit to the right-hand side. Going to be a base hit there by Steckline. And stopping at second base is Wolverton as Steckline records his first hit of the ball game. He fought that one off to the right side. And it'll bring up the second baseman, number 5, Mason Lowe. If you're just now joining us, Hutchinson scored in the second inning, as they scored 1 run. Great Bend came back and scored 2 runs in the second to make it 2-1. And then scored 2 more runs in the bottom half of the third to make it 4-1. But then in the top half of the fourth inning, there's a ball hit to the shortstop. Shortstop Gonzalez goes to Cheatham and over to Pomeroy. Just enough for a force out at second, but safe at first. And on that play, Wolverton moves over to third base. So a 6-4 put out and a fielder's choice for Love. It's going to bring up the center fielder, number 12, Braden Whitchurch. Once again, it was 4-1 in the bottom half of the third. And then Hutchinson scored 6 runs in the top half of the fourth inning to take a 7-4 lead. In the bottom half of the fourth inning for Great Bend, they scored 14 runs to make it 18-7 as we are in the top half of the fifth inning. Runners at first and third with 1 out. That one's fouled off by Whitchurch. The ball gets away from the catcher. A strikeout by Whitchurch for out number 2. But going to second base on that play was Lowe. And that will bring up, looks like we may have a pinch hitter. Let me check and see. Nope, it's Cooper Elliott at the plate for Hutchinson. One ball, no strikes to Elliott. And a run scores from third base as Elliott was safe at first. So we have Elliott at first base now, Lowe at third, and Wolverton scores from third base. It's going to bring up the shortstop, number 9, Dylan Netved. That ball hit to the right-hand side is foul. So the count goes no balls and 1 strike. To Dylan Netved. No balls and 2 strikes now to Nedved as we have 2 down, runners at first and third. Score now 18-8. The ball gets away from the catcher as the run scores from third base. That's Lowe. Moving over to second base is Elliott. So 2 runs have scored here in the top half of the fifth. So the score now 18-9 in favor of Hutchinson. In favor of Great Bend. That was fouled off by Nedved. As we have 2 down, a runner at second base. Here in the top half of the fifth inning. That one missing low for ball 2. That will even up the count now at 2 balls and 2 strikes. This one hit to the second baseman, Cheatham. Will go over to Pomeroy for out number 3. So a 4-3 put out for the third out. 18-9 is the score. You're listening to the NBC World Series live stream presented by Park City, Kansas. Visit Park City's website at parkcitykansas.com. We'll be right back.
Come from the sea, come to you. I heard the laughing. Come from the sea, come to you. I'm someone like you. Na 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 na. I'm going to Wichita. I'm going to Wichita. I'm going to Wichita. And I'm going to Wichita.
Learn more at visitwichita.com.
Leading off bottom half of the fifth inning, we welcome you back. Will be the third baseman, number 15, Nolan Riley. The numbers on Linder, he went 1/3 of an inning as he gave up no hits, 7 runs, 5 base on balls, 1 strikeout as he faced 8 batters. Drewer is the pitcher. Dawson, I'm sorry, that's not correct. Base hit there by Riley to the first base side. Now batting will be the shortstop, number 2, Cade Gonzalez. Dreyer, that ball hit to the shortstop. It's going to be a double play as the ball was hit to the shortstop. Nedved went over to Lowe and over to Steckline for the double play. It's going to bring up the right fielder, number 14, Ryan Monson. So Monson up at the plate. Count is 1 ball, 1 strike. And here's the pitch. That one is fouled off by Monson. 1 ball, 2 strikes with 2 outs here in the bottom half of the fifth inning. And here's the pitch, missing outside for ball 2, so that will even up the count at 2-2. Strikeout and a throw out at first base for the third out. You're listening to the NBC World Series live stream presented by Park City, Kansas. Visit Park City's website at parkcitykansas.com. We'll be back. And we welcome you back as we go to the top half of the sixth inning. The score is 18-9 in favor of Great Bend. Leading off for Hutchinson, will be the designated hitter number 18, Taylor Barber. Easton Young still in there pitching for Great Bend. Ball hits between the shortstop, and shortstop does come up with the ball, but has a bad throw to first base. And the ball gets away from the first baseman. And we have a new first baseman. Looks like it's number 25 now at first base for Great Bend. And it's Andrew Fife, I believe, from O'Fallon, Missouri, William Woods University. Now batting will be the catcher number 20, Scott Wolverton. So Cheatham still at second, Gonzalez is at short, Riley at third, Mitchell in left, Freeman in center, and Monson in right. And Young still pitching, and Bloomer catching. Missing outside for ball two, so the count goes to 2-1 now to Scott Wolverton. Taylor Barber reached on a base hit and an error by the shortstop. He moves to second base. That will even up the count now at 2-2 to Scott Wolverton. No outs here in the top half of the sixth inning for the Hutchinson Monarchs. That ball lifted into center field. Center fielder backing up. That's Freeman making the catch and then throws to third base on the fly. So we have one down. And it'll bring up the right fielder, number 13, Ed Scott. So we are in the top half of the sixth inning. 20 runs were scored total in that fourth inning, combined for both teams. 6 by Hutchinson and 14 by Great Bend. And 29 batters came to the plate in the fourth inning for both teams combined. 10 for Hutchinson and 19 for Great Bend. So we have one down with the runner at second base. And fighting hard is Ed Scott, as he's got no balls and 2 strikes. And he's fighting off the foul balls. One down here in the top half of the sixth inning. Swing and a miss there by Scott as he goes down for out number 2. Going to bring up the left fielder, number 27, Keith Wolverton. Wolverton replaced Connor Craig as Craig went down with an injury out in left field. Haven't heard anything of how he's doing or what the injury is, I think. Basically, he just pulled something as he was able to walk off with just a little bit of help by using somebody's shoulder, but walked all the way from left field into the dugout. Count is 1 ball, no strikes to Wolverton. There goes Barber to third base, a stolen base. So Barber's now at third base with 2 down. Fouled off there by Wolverton. 1 ball, 2 strikes now to Keith Wolverton. Not sure whether the Wolvertons are related or whether they're twins, but they're both from Seward, Nebraska. Scott is 6 foot, 210 pounds. And there's a strikeout for out number 3. So you're listening to the NBC World Series live stream presented by Park City, Kansas. Visit Park City's website at parkcitykansas.com. We'll be right back.
Neck pain, back pain, all kinds of sprains. If your knee replacement aches when it starts to rain, at Advanced Physical Therapy, we treat that. At Advanced Physical Therapy, we treat that. Concussions, arthritis, carpal tunnel, too, fibromyalgia, Parkinson's, we've got the treatment for you. At Advanced Physical Therapy, we treat that. At Advanced Physical Therapy, we treat that. One-on-one sessions with a personal touch. Ask our thousands of patients why they love us so much. At Advanced Physical Therapy, we treat that. At Advanced Physical Therapy, we treat that.
And we welcome you back as we go to the bottom half of the 6th inning for Great Bend. Leading off will be the center fielder, number 11, Dante Freeman. The score 18-9 in favor of Great Bend. The line so far for Hutchinson, 9 runs on 7 hits, 2 errors. And for Great Bend, 18 runs on 10 hits and 3 errors. Of course, the big inning was in the 4th inning where they scored 14 runs. Count is 1 ball, no strike now to Freeman. There's the ball hit to the third base. Great job there by Cooper Elliott. But he throws that ball wildly to first base. And we have an error by the third baseman. And ending up at second base is Dante Freeman. But that was a great job, a great stop there by Cooper Elliott. Just didn't make a very good throw. It's going to bring up the first baseman, number 3, Dawson Pomeroy. Pomeroy is, I'm sorry, not Pomeroy. It's going to be, yes, it is Pomeroy. Swing and a miss there by Pomeroy. Must have a re-entry from Pomeroy for, there we go, he is 3 for 3. 5 out of 11 in the NBC World Series. He's batting .454. Count is 1 ball, 2 strikes now to Pomeroy. Runner at second base with no outs. outside for ball 2, so the count will now go to 2 balls, 2 strikes. That one fouled off by Pomeroy. On deck is Brady Mitchell. And then in the hole, Chandler Bloomer. Appreciate all your comments on YouTube and Facebook Live, as the games are being broadcast on both YouTube and Facebook Live this year, courtesy of Chris Worrell, our technician. Count is 2 balls, 2 strikes to Pomeroy. That missing for ball 3, so the count will go full now at 3-2. And Sir Casalot says, Frank, your voice, Kansas, is like there's a ball hit into left field. Stopping at third base is Freeman. Pomeroy reaches with his 4th hit of the game. He'll be stopping at first base. Now batting will be the left fielder, number 6, Brady Mitchell. Let me finish reading that. It's like Kramer from Seinfeld in the episode where he did the movie Phone. Well, I've not ever seen that scene, so I'm not sure if that's a compliment or not. But I appreciate your comment. Eric Riggs, appreciate your comment, sir. Hope you're enjoying the telecast. And all of you that are watching, we appreciate you joining us here this evening. Runners at first and third with no out here in the bottom half, 6th inning. Brady Mitchell at the plate. There's a ball hit to third base. A great diving stop there by Elliott. And we're going to have, what a stop there by Cooper Elliott. That's the second play that I've seen him make a great stop. And he throws Freeman out at home. Stopping at second base is Pomeroy. Mitchell will be on at first. So a 5-2 play for the first out. It's going to bring up catcher number 10, Chandler Bloomer. So Mitchell reaches on a fielder's choice. And we have one down now. Just a great defensive play there by Cooper Elliott at third base. He dove and made the catch, came up and threw Freeman out at home plate. Had him in a rundown. We're able to tag him out. No balls, 2 strikes now to Bloomer. That missing inside for ball 1. It is now 12:40 in the morning here in Wichita, Kansas. Ball hit to the right-hand side. That's second baseman Lowe makes a great stop and throws out Bloomer at first base for the second out. Pomeroy ends up at third base on the play. Mitchell goes to second. And a 4-3 put out for the second out. It's going to bring up the Second baseman, number 17, Tyson Cheatham. Cheatham recorded a double his last time at the plate. Count is 1 ball, no strikes. That one hit into center field. And making the catch, the center fielder, Whitchurch, for out number 3. Good job there by Whitchurch to come up with that ball for the third out. You're listening to the NBC World Series live stream presented by Park City, Kansas. Visit Park City's website at parkcitykansas.com. We'll be right back.
The Kansas Humane Society is a community resource for pets and people dedicated to enhancing the welfare of all companion animals. We offer an array of services that promote the human and animal bond, including pet adoption, dog training, behavior consultation, pet supplies, outreach, spay and neuter, end-of-life services, field trips, and community outreach.
And we welcome you back for the 85th National Baseball Congress World Series, powered by Westar Energy. As we go to the top half of the 7th inning, leading off for the Hutchinson Monarchs will be the first baseman, number 23, Ryan Steckline. Correction, that's going to be number 25 now. Let me make sure. Yes, now pinch hitting is number 25, unless I missed him at first base. That's Easton Rent now batting. He fouls that off to the left-hand side. Count is no balls, 2 strikes. That's a ball for ball 1. So 1 and 2 now the count to Easton Rent for the Hutchinson Monarchs. That one hit to the shortstop, Gonzalez. Gonzalez goes over to Pomeroy for out number 1. A 6-3 put out for the first out. Bring up the second baseman, number 5, Mason Lowe. Ball 1 to Lowe. That ball hit into deep into left field. Coming in is Mitchell, making the catch right at the line for out number 2. When that first took off, I thought Mitchell was going to have to back up, but I saw Mitchell all of a sudden take off running towards the foul line. I looked back up and saw that he was going the right direction as he got under it, made the catch for out number 2. Brings up the center fielder, number 12, Braden Whitchurch. Count is no balls, 2 strike now to Whitchurch. As we are in the top half of the 7th inning with 2 down. Ball hit to the right-hand side. First baseman Pomeroy going to the foul line area, making the catch for out number 3. And we welcome you back for the 85th National Baseball Congress World Series, powered by West Star Energy. This is Frank Martinez, your play-by-play announcer. We're going to have a new pitcher now for Hutchinson. It's going to be number 35 now coming in to pitch. Kudelka, Patrick Kudelka from New Braunfels, Texas, from Sam Houston State, where he's a freshman. He's 6'7", 250-pounder. Now coming in to pitch for the Hutchinson Monarchs. Kudelka now on the mound for the Monarchs. Leading off the bottom half of the seventh inning for Great Bend, we'll have the designated hitter number 34, Chase Gibson. The score is 18-9 in favor of Great Bend as we go to the bottom half of the seventh. First pitch is called strike one. So it counts no balls, one strike. That one missing low for ball one, so the count will even up now at 1-1. For Hutchinson, 9 runs, 7 hits, 3 errors. And for Great Bend, 18 runs on 11 hits and 4 errors. That one gets away from the catcher as that's in the ground. So the count goes to 2 balls and 1 strike. Not the prettiest ball game that we've seen here in the tournament, but both teams are trying hard to get to that next step as championship week starts tomorrow. Once again, the winner of this game will move on to championship week, and they will be playing on Friday either at 1 or 3:30. That is fouled off there by Gibson. Kudelka's pitch missing for ball 4. So Gibson is on here in the bottom half of the 7th inning. Going to bring up the third baseman, number 15, Nolan Riley. With a runner on at first base and no outs. And here's the pitch, missing for ball 1. We do have somebody warming out in the bullpen for Hutchinson. Looks like it's number 15, Ty Clark, corrections. 2-0 now the count to Riley. With the runner on at first base and no outs here in the bottom half of the 7th inning. That missing for ball 3. Going to have to give a medal to Scott Wolverton because he's been working awful hard with these 5 pitchers that have come in for Hutchinson. There it is, ball 4 to Riley. So Gibson will move to second base. Riley's on at first. And now coming up to bat will be the shortstop, number 2, Cade Gonzalez. Runners are not being held to their bases, so first pitch is ball one to Gonzalez, as we have no outs with runners at first and second here in the bottom half of the seventh. There's a pitch missing inside, and the count now goes 2-0. Three 0 now the count to Gonzalez. As Kudelka is having trouble finding the strike zone. Has thrown 2 strikes and 11 balls since he's come in. That one called strike for strike number 1. So 3-1 now the count to Gonzalez. He's playing shortstop here this evening for Great Bend. Runners at first and second with no outs here in the bottom half of the seventh inning. And that one down low for ball 4. So another walk. The third walk given up here in the seventh inning. And to bring up the right fielder, number 14, Ryan Munson. Call strike 1 on the outside corner. That one an 89-mile-an-hour fastball by Kudelka. Great pitch as he hits the corner. Another one right in the same spot. Looks like now he's just firing away. Before it looked like he was trying to place it. Now he's just rearing back and letting go. That one there missing outside for ball 1. So the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes. Runners at first, second, and third with no outs here in the bottom half of the seventh inning. Score 18-9 in favor of Great Bend. And that missing outside for ball 2. So that will take the count now to 2 balls and 2 strikes. This is now 12:55 here in Wichita. Less than 12 hours. Ball hit right up the middle. The second baseman. Second baseman goes to, a shortstop goes to second base, I should say, for the force out, but a run does score. Now batting was Dante Freeman. As 1 run scored. To make the score 19-9 now. One ball, 1 strike now to Freeman. And here Kudelka's pitch. That ball hit foul along the left-hand side. 1 ball, 2 strikes with runners at first and third and 1 down here in the bottom half of the 7th inning. That one getting away from the catcher, but is able to keep it in front of him. That will even up the count now at 2 balls and 2 strikes. That one fouled off. So count still 2 balls, 2 strikes with 1 out. Runners at first and third. That one almost hits Freeman. So the count will go full now at 3-2. As he turned his back and acted like he was going to get hit, but just missed him. The ball fouled off by Freeman again. So he's hanging tough. Ball hit to the third baseman, not able to get to it. As it's going to be a base hit, another run scores. As Riley scores from third base. Monson is on at second now. Freeman at first and brings up the first baseman, number 3, Dawson Pomeroy. 20-9 now is the score in favor of Great Bend. And ball 1 outside. So 1-0 the count now to Pomeroy. And here's Kudelka's pitch, missing outside for ball 2. So the Derby Twins move on to the championship round as they defeated Hayes here this evening in our featured game. Ball hit hard down the right field line. That's going to be in for extra bases. And coming around to score will be Monson. Also coming to score is Freeman. And there's a ball thrown down to third base. And in with a triple is Dawson Pomeroy. She records a triple and 2 RBIs. That'll bring up the left fielder, number 6, Brady Mitchell. As 4 runs have scored here in the bottom half of the 7th inning. The score 22-9 now in favor of Great Bend. And that Mitchell thought it hit him, but the umpire says strike. So the count is 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Runner at third base. And Kudelka's pitch. Missing high for ball 2, so 2-1 the count now to Brady Mitchell. As Mitchell is 2 for 3 here tonight. That missing for ball 3. So the count goes 3 balls, 1 strike to Brady Mitchell. That one is fouled off to the left side. That will take the count to full now at 3-2. And there is ball 4 to Mitchell, so he'll be on at first base. Going to bring up the catcher number 10, Chandler Bloomer. So we'll have runners at first and third now, with one down here in the bottom half of the seventh inning. Call strike one against Bloomer. One ball, one strike. That missing outside for ball 2. So we have runners at first and third. With one down. Scored 22-9 now for Great Bend. That one fouled off. We'll take the count now to 2 balls and 2 strikes. And there is a ball 4 now to Bloomer. The bases will be full now with one down here in the bottom half of the seventh inning. That'll bring up the second baseman, number 17, Dyson Cheatham. Correction, we have a pinch hitter, number 8, for Great Bend. Want to make sure we get him announced here. That's Clay Lockett, now hitting for Great Bend. Count goes to no balls, 2 strikes against Lockett. Getting runners at first, second, and third with one down. Ball hit up the middle. Second base not going to be able to get to it, so 1 run will score. And the second run scores from second base as Lockett records a base hit and 2 RBIs. Stopping at second base will be Bloomer. Lockett at first. It'll bring up the designated hitter, number 34, Chase Gibson. So 6 runs have scored here in the bottom half of the 7th inning. That one fouled off, so the count goes 1 ball, 2 strikes to Chase Gibson. Runners at first and second with 1 down. Score is 24-9 now in favor of Great Bend. That one popped up into the infield. Should be an infield fly roll, and it will be for out number 2. And it'll bring up the third baseman, number 15, Nolan Riley. And there's a put out at second base for the third out. 6 runs scored, 24-9 is the score. You're listening to the NBC World Series live stream presented by Park City, Kansas. Visit Park City's website at parkcitykansas.com. We'll be right back.
Man, this is serious business. You got to have an appetite for this kind of thing. You got to have a hunger to succeed.
Side effects may include hilarity, laughter, smiles, childlike behavior, lots of good feelings, and making of a lifelong friend.
Mentoring. It's easier than you think and serious fun. Change the game.
And we welcome you back to the 85th National Baseball Congress World Series, powered by West Star Energy, as we go to the top half of the 8th inning. Now pitching is number 25, Andrew Fife. Right-handed thrower. And leading off, top half of the 8th inning for Hutchinson will be the third baseman, number 3, Cooper Elliott. 24-9 is the score in favor of Great Bend. Strike 1 to Cooper Elliott. As count goes, no balls, 1 strike. Swing and a miss there by Elliott. And the count goes to no balls and 2 strikes. So we have no outs here in the top half of the 8th inning. Missing outside for ball 1. 1 ball, 2 strikes now to Elliott. That one fouled off by Elliott. So the count stays at 1 ball and 2 strikes. That one fouled off again by Elliott. I'd like to remind you we have more baseball tomorrow. The championship week starts tomorrow. San Diego, California Ways versus the Texas Express at 1 o'clock. I'll be on the PA for that one. That ball flied up into the shortstop. Gonzalez makes the catch for out number 1. It's going to bring up the shortstop number 9, Dylan Nedved. And then our second game on Thursday will be the Kansas Cannons versus San Antonio, Texas Angels. This one also popped up. The center fielder coming in. It's Freeman making the catch for out number 2. It's going to bring up the designated hitter number 18, Taylor Barber. And then our third game on Thursday will be our feature game. And it's going to be a great one. The Seattle Washington Studs versus the Cheney, Kansas Diamond Dogs. Once again, I have the PA on the first 2 games, and not sure if I'll be doing the radio on tomorrow evening or not. But if not, I will have the call on the fourth and final game. There's a ball hit into right center field, and Taylor Barber records his 4th hit of the ball game. So he has a double and 3 singles now here in the game. It's going to bring up the catcher number 20, Scott Wolverton. Then the 9:30 game on Thursday will be the Colorado Cyclones versus the Fairbanks, Alaska Gold Panthers. That's right, I said Fairbanks, Alaska Gold Panthers are here for the NBC World Series. So we hope you join us, as we'll have those games tomorrow. And on Friday, we have some very interesting games also. There's the pitch, fouled off. The count goes to no balls, 2 strikes to Wolverton. On Friday, our first game will be the first round qualifiers, which will be either Derby or the winner of this game versus Game Day Colorado Saints at 1 o'clock. On the second at 3:30, we'll have the first round qualifier, which will either be Derby or the winner of this game against the Lone Star Baseball Club from Texas. Then the feature game on Friday will be the defending champions, the Santa Barbara, California Forsters versus the Hayesville, Kansas Aviators. That's going to be a big game. Count goes full now at 3-2 to Wolverton. And then the 9:30 game on Friday will be the Liberal Kansas BJs versus the San Diego, California Stars. So big games on Thursday and Friday. So we hope that you can join us. So again, all these games will be broadcast on YouTube and Facebook. There goes the runner as the ball's lifted into center field. Making the catch is Freeman for out number 3. You're listening to the NBC World Series live stream presented by Park City, Kansas. Visit Park City's website at parkcitykansas.com. We'll be right back.
I'm Terry Bradshaw. Like many of you, I took the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge back in 2014. My man Pat Quinn here, well, he's one of the founders.
Thanks to all of you who took the challenge.
ALS is a nasty disease with no cure. It robs a person of their ability to walk, talk, and breathe. Since the Ice Bucket Challenge, we've discovered new ALS genes and potential treatments. If we can cure ALS, we can cure anything. Please join me and Pat in the fight against ALS.
And we welcome you back as we go to the bottom half of the 8th inning. And we're going to have a new pitcher now for Hutchinson. And it will be number 15 coming in. The pitch will be Ty Clark, a left-handed thrower from Junction City, Kansas, a 6-foot, 170-pounder, Northeast Texas Community College, where he's a freshman. So Clark now pitching for the Hutchinson Monarchs. And the first batter he'll be facing will be the shortstop, number 2, Cade Gonzalez. As we are in the bottom half of the 8th inning, the score, the Great Bend Batcats 24 and the Hudson Monarchs 9. First pitch is in front of home plate as it bounces for ball 1. And here's the second pitch, fouled off by Gonzalez, so the count will go to 1 ball, 1 strike. Fouled off again. And a souvenir here for somebody. As the count goes to 1 ball, 2 strikes now to Cade Gonzalez. That one hit to the shortstop. Shortstop Nedved goes to Rent for out number 1. So a 6-3 put out for the first out. It's going to bring up the right fielder, number 14, Ryan Monson. Monson is 1 for 5 here in the ball game. Ball 1 to Monson. Count is 1 ball, 1 strike now to Monson. His count now goes to 2 balls and 1 strike. Here's a pitch ball is fouled off there by Monson. And that will even up the count now at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Missing outside for ball 3, so that will be take the count to full now at 3-2. See, we still have about 79 people watching. We thank you for staying with us. Ball hit down the line, so Monson will be in with a double as he records his second hit of the ball game. Bring up the center fielder, number 11, Dante Freeman. That one is fouled off Freeman's foot. As he tries to walk that off. Once again, Monson is at second base. Now Freeman goes down to a knee as it's really bothering him now. And here comes staff member for the NBC, coming out to check on Freeman. Must have hit him pretty hard because he went down to a knee, and he's up now, looking like he may be able to continue. So the count is no balls, one strike to Dante Freeman. Runner at second base and one out. Missing outside for ball one. That would even up the count now at 1-1. Eric Riggs, you're welcome. One ball, two strikes now to Freeman. Swing and a miss there by Freeman as he goes down for out number two. It's going to bring up the first baseman, number 3, Dawson Pomeroy. Here's the pitch, missing high for ball one to Pomeroy. As we have two down here in the bottom half of the eighth inning. 24-9 in favor of Great Bend. 2-0 the count. Pomeroy will be on at first base now. And it'll bring up the left fielder, number 6, Brady Mitchell. Would like to say you're welcome to all those that are thanking us for broadcasting the live stream. Hope you're enjoying it. That ball hit to the shortstop for out number 3. You're listening to the NBC World Series live stream presented by Park City, Kansas. Visit Park City's website at parkcitykansas.com. We'll be right back.
What do you see? I'll tell you what I don't see. I don't see a dropout. I don't see laid off. I don't see hopeless. I see our future, bright and prosperous. What do you see?
And we welcome you back as we go to the top half of the ninth inning for the Hutchinson Monarchs. Leading off will be the right fielder, number 13, Ed Scott. The Score as we go to the top half of the ninth inning is 24-9 in favor of Great Bend. First pitch is ball one. The count is 1 ball, no strike. And here's the pitch. Missing for ball two, 2-0 the count. I'd like to remind you we'll be in action tomorrow at 1 o'clock. There's a hard hit ball to the first baseman. First baseman Pomeroy goes unassisted for out number one. I'll bring up the left fielder number 27, Keith Wolverton. So we have one down here in the top half of the ninth inning. Call strike one by home plate umpire. The line reads, Hutchinson 9 runs on 8 hits, 3 errors. The line for Great Bend, 24 runs on 15 hits and 4 errors. The count goes to 1 ball, 1 strike now to Wolverton. With one down here in the top half of the ninth. Here's the pitch. The ball hit into center field. Center fielder Freeman falls down. That's going to go all the way back to the fence as Wolverton hits second and running third base. Going to stop up at third base. So a triple for Keith Wolverton as he's now standing at third base with one down. And Dante Freeman went back to try to make the catch but fell down. So Wolverton is in with a triple. And now batting will be the first baseman, number 25, Easton Rent. We have Lowe on deck as we have one down here in the top half of the ninth inning. Count is 1 ball and missing high for ball 2. So the count is 2 balls, no strikes. With a runner at third base and 1 down here in the top half of the ninth. That ball fouled off to the left side. Will be in the construction area. As the count goes to 2 balls and 1 strike. That missing high for ball 3, so 3-1 now the count. His Rent is 0 for 1 here in the ball game. And here's the pitch. That one also fouled off by Rent. Count is full at 3-2. Runner at third base with 1 down here in the top half of the ninth. That one fouled off. That hard hit ball into over the shortstop's head, I should say, as Gonzalez misses that, and a run will score for Hutchinson. And coming up to the bat will be the second baseman, number 5, Mason Lowe. Easton Rent records a base hit and an RBI. The score now is 24-10 in favor of Great Bend, as we have one down here in the top half of the 9th inning. And Mason Lowe up at the plate. Count is 1 ball, 1 strike now to Lowe, with a runner at first base and 1 down. There goes the runner to second base. Nobody covering as the ball goes into center field. Catcher Bloomer threw the ball down as Rent stole second. Finally run down by Cheatham at second base. Out in center field. 2 balls, 1 strike now to Lowe. The ball hit to the shortstop. Gonzalez comes in, goes to first for out number 2. So 6-3 put out for the second out. And it's going to bring up the center fielder, number 12, Braden Whitchurch. Machine high for ball 1. 24-10 is the score. Ball was fouled off to the right-hand side. So the count will go 1 ball, 1 strike with a runner at third base and 2 down. And here's the pitch. Ball hit hard into left field. That's out of the ballpark, but foul. Braden Whitchurch got a hold of that one. Returned too quickly as it went foul out of the ballpark. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Whitchurch with a runner at third base and 1 down. That missing for ball 2. As Bloomer tried to stop that and got away from him, but not very far to where Rent could not advance. So the count is 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the top half of the 9th. Ball hit to the shortstop. Gonzalez charges, goes to first. And that is the ball game. With the final score, the Great Bend 24 and Hutchinson 10. So Great Bend will advance to the championship week along with Derby. And that does eliminate the Hutchinson Monarchs from the 85th National Baseball Congress World Series. Well, don't forget, our action starts tomorrow at 1 o'clock. As it will be the San Diego Waves versus the Texas Express. The 3:30 game will be the Kansas Cannons versus San Antonio, Texas Angels. And then at 7 o'clock, it will be the Seattle Washington Studs versus the Cheney, Kansas Diamond Dogs. And then our 9:30 game will be the Colorado Cyclones versus the Fairbanks, Alaska Panhandlers. Go Panthers, I'm sorry. Fairbanks, Alaska, go Panthers. And so this is Frank Martinez. Wish you a good night. We'll see you for tomorrow's action in the championship week. Good night.